See if I can even remember how to start this recording.
Start this recording.
Beaver Dam, Wisconsin's got peppers and a stage. Beaver Dam, Kentucky's where Bill Monroe first played. Beaver Dam, anywhere the people all say, have a gosh dang beaver darn great damn day.
Honestly, I don't like the shaves. I never used the shaves for anything
You don't
except
sit like with your legs
putting
out,
blankets there.
like you could sleep here.
No, look at the angle from like the TV or anything.
LA
it's just
could
not
sleep
comfortable.
there. I don't know if Thomas could sleep there.
Oh yeah, I could sleep on a rock.
I'm like 7 feet tall. My feet would be draping over.
Is this a new couch, or did you get it out of a dumpster like I got most of my couches before I went to
I'll answer
McKinstry's
for
Home
him
Furnishing
again.
in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin?
I will answer for him again. It's a new couch.
I was actually looking at McKinstry's, trying to find a replacement for this couch, which was inspired by my girlfriend's, not my girlfriend's, wow, my sister's boyfriend's.
Woo! Strike that, reverse
Oh
it.
my God.
Sister's boyfriend's
My
brother's
sister's
girlfriend.
boyfriend got this from Amazon. That's what he used for like medical school. So I was like,
Okay,
oh.
yeah.
No, furniture has really changed though recently. Like I'm apprehensive about buying new furniture. I'm keeping my old furniture that in 2027 will be 20 years old. Yes.
Well,
Really?
furniture is meant
Oh,
to
yeah.
last, though.
It is meant to
Or
last.
At one point in our
It's
history,
ugly
it was.
because it's red, but also like I have slip covers on it, so I'm just making new slip covers. I already got new legs for it. I lifted it up. It's elevated. You know, it's like a facelift.
You just put a new skin over it?
And it's comfortable. And this is what I've noticed about new furniture. It's not tall.
No, it kind of sinks.
Yeah, it's all short.
Well, well, it had to be because it was shipped here,
gotta
so
ship.
that back had to get locked into place. And so if you really start rocking the back, you can kind of feel it groaning a little
Oh
bit.
man, don't break
Yeah.
it.
But still, the thrill of having a new piece of major furniture, and a couch is kind of the most major piece of furniture one would get next to a bed or
Or a dining room table and chairs.
I would feel the bed is above the sofa, right?
No.
Because that's what you're spending 8 hours probably a day on
your
on a
bed.
bed
It
rather
should
than a sofa.
be, but people fall asleep on their sofas too. So
So what's the most important piece of furniture between a dining room set, a sofa, and a bed? Like if you could only choose...
it's the bed. Because if
Yeah.
you had one
I don't
room,
know, we should take a vote
the
on this.
only piece of furniture you need is a bed.
but a sofa can double as a bed.
Yeah, very
Okay,
uncomfortable bed.
Craig, what's your vote? You're the tiebreaker.
Well, you could turn a bed into a sofa. I mean, you just put
kind
some...
of. Trust me, I've looked into that on Pinterest. I
you have
spent
a
many
twin.
hours.
So futon.
You just-
Futon's the most.
Futon is the most
practical.
uncomfortable. And this is really, we're kind of in a fufa here, a kind of a cross between a sofa and a futon.
a fufa.
It's like a sotan.
I think a fufa has a
Well,
different
are
meaning.
you comfortable?
This is the most comfortable futon I've ever been on.
But it's not a futon.
But then it would be an average sofa. But it's acceptable for watching TV. I wouldn't want to sleep on this.
Oh, I could sleep on it.
You wouldn't want to. It's not very cozy. So, guys, we are back. Apparently, with the Great Beaver Fiasco. And I can't even remember what the name is. It's been such a long time. We've had a whole summer where we haven't done anything. And guess
Frolicking.
what? We doubled down by not posting anything online.
Nothing, not a darn
Whoa,
thing.
yeah.
So everyone could have assumed we were blown away or maybe seized by moon pirates. There's no idea what's been going on here.
All the people waiting with bated breath for
And
our
distance
next
makes
words.
the gross grow fonder.
This is... what?
The gross grow fonder.
Distant.
The gross grow fonder.
Okay, so speaking of slips of the tongue, so I work at a place where I'm calling people and talking about their machines, right? And how their machines are doing. Like this guy called in, hey, how's my tractor doing? I'm like, hey, it's, we're kind of waiting a little bit. And I was kind of stalling, like, it's taking a little bit longer than it really should. And it was kind of awkward, and I was trying to end it. And then we were just about hanging up, and I just said a little bit like, all right, bye, John, love you. and I
You
hung up
told
the
somebody
phone.
at work you loved them?
Right, it was like love. But I realized what I just said. I'm like, oh my gosh, I told this random stranger that I love him.
Wow.
Did he call you back?
Yeah, he didn't. No. But I was right in the face because the guy was right behind me like, you just said you love that guy. I didn't mean it.
There was a customer that called that out? Or
Yeah,
a
no,
coworker?
it was a coworker that called me out on that.
Well, okay, that makes sense.
Which, yeah, is better than a customer.
Yeah, wow. That's kind of like going up to somebody and like who's got their hand extended to you and then them shaking the hand of the person behind you.
Oh, that happened to me too.
Ooh, ouch. Or like looking at a picture that someone gives you and then they don't take it back right away and you're like, is this for me? And then they say, I don't think you'd want a picture of my dog. And no, I didn't want the picture, but she was taking forever taking it back. And I'm just like,
You've looked at a paper picture recently? You've had a paper picture handed to you? It wasn't on a phone?
Like a Polaroid,
this
right?
might have been a while ago.
Sharing memories here on the Great Beaver Fiasco.
Isn't that strange when someone does give you something that is clearly of sentimental value?
Yes.
They want you to hold on to it for a certain amount of time because that means like, oh, this is important. But then it's like that weird time of when do I give it back to them?
Well, and it was
How long
like
do I
the
hold on to it
smallest
for?
size. Remember in school, for those of us who had school pictures and you had like all those little pictures of yourself and they had the trading size, right? This was smaller than the trading size. So I'm like, she probably has 100 of these that she's giving to everybody. And the way she was just standing there with her hands in her pockets watching me admire this little picture of her dog, when in fact I'm a cat person anyway, you know, it was kind of awkward.
I've been going through the family archive of pictures lately. And, it, you know, it's just interesting, I think, from a societal point of view to look at the pictures I have. I've got hundreds and hundreds of school pictures, just like you're talking about, of those wallet size, like up to about 2003. And then it was, I think I remember that as kind of being like, oh, we'll put them on a CD for you and you could print them at will. So then we had a few more. But, you know, when the electrostatic bomb goes off or whatever that is that takes out all of our electronic infrastructure, all those electronic pictures that we have are just going to be a distant memory. And all we're going to have left are those hundreds and hundreds of the same wallet-sized photo from 1999.
Nothing but turtlenecks and bowl cuts.
I gotta go. It's been nice talking to you, but I have some pictures to print up at home.
Well, you're telling me you have a home printer? That'll cost you millions of dollars
Really?
in ink.
I do have a home printer.
I went to, not to dominate the conversation, but I went to then develop a roll of film that I found in the family archive. And so I dropped it off at the modern photomat. I'm not going to say which business this is because I'm going to rake them through the coals here in a second. It wasn't Kohl's. I know it sounded like that, but
they do that themselves.
So I dropped this off because I would have to say the last time I dropped off a roll of film to be developed, I think they were 29-cent or 39-cent prints. So I dropped this roll of 24 pictures off and picked it up, and it was like $27 for me to be able to retrieve my photos because they're like, yeah, we had to send it to like Anaheim.
It was only
they don't do it in-house anymore.
Like 30 photos?
It was only, roll of 24 photos maybe or something like that. They're not 29 cents anymore. If you haven't had a set of film developed in a while.
I haven't, and I didn't know if there was a place that still did that. So they have to send it off?
I mean, they did, yeah.
Because
they don't apparently they don't do it in-house anymore.
I have those disposable cameras.
Right.
That's from when my
essentially what I
daughters
found.
Do they still sell those?
No, these are old.
I think
Again, like my memories.
I think you can find some of those disposable cameras, but I think like the waterproof ones are really big still. So you could take them like, you know, I said skinny dipping. I meant to say scuba diving, but I imagine you could take them.
what you've been up to
do
this
that
summer.
too, I suppose.
You know, speaking of being nostalgia about photos, you know, one thing I miss, and this is because this is the most comfortable position that you have ever been, correct?
Ever in my life.
You know what I really miss?
In
Editing all the other Great Beaver Fiascos we've done is...
There's a lot of movement.
Is Craig knocking the microphone like 20 times in the
me for
conversation?
that. I'm not the only one.
No, it's clearly one-sided.
Oh, come on.
I have video evidence of
I
it.
will have you know. Sorry.
Yeah. So what have we done, guys, in the last 3 months? Does anyone want to give a recap of any major life developments?
A recap? Wow. Well...
or, you know, a thesis, abstraction.
Yeah.
You,
LA?
Thomas?
Do I have to begin on this?
I think we should go youngest to, you know, more mature.
Well, I'm clearly the most mature, so I should be
dang.
last. No, summer was very quick. We had the 4th of July that happened. It was very strange for Columbus because we had a murder happen the night before.
That's right.
So that made the whole parade route and situation completely fluid. And we didn't know if it was still going to be happening. And it went off actually really well. Everyone communicated. We moved the fireworks a couple days later because of weather. And honestly, it was probably one of the most fun forts for the vast majority of people that came there. in a long time.
This is an audio-only broadcast, and you keep using your fingers
I'm using air quotes.
You used them around murder? I haven't really been following the news.
It was actually murder.
It was actually a murder. I don't know why I quoted it. It was a murder.
Okay, I didn't mean to call you out on that then.
No,
the next set of quotes were for weather. Fireworks were delayed because of weather.
Well,
wasn't there actually bad weather?
There was actually, maybe I should learn what air quotes actually mean. There was inclement weather the next couple of days that happened. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you lit them off during kind of like
yeah, it was supposed to be
weather?
lighting off on Thursday, and then we lit them off on Saturday. And honestly, most people like that. It was easier for them. And it worked out for us because more people showed up on Thursday than they showed up again on Saturday for the fireworks.
I forget the 4th of July was on a Thursday?
Yes, it was on a Thursday.
This year? Okay. So, yeah, well, I mean, Beaver Dam shot theirs off 3 months later, so you're not doing so bad.
And I texted you. I was like, what is going on at Beaver Dam? I keep hearing this weird bellowing sound.
Yeah.
They say when you hear what you think are fireworks, it's really gunshots. So
who says that?
Where
are
that
you
come
getting
from?
this from?
That sounds like a gross
disaster preparedness
misunderstatement.
videos at my place of employment. You know, when people are like, I heard fireworks. Usually it's gunshots.
Oh,
You're in a line of business,
yeah.
though, where everybody is always like tense and on
Suspicious.
guard
Yeah.
and like expecting the worst because they see the worst all day.
Yeah, working at the candy factory is really difficult.
There's been a change of jobs for you since we've seen you last?
No.
You just don't want to mention that. That's fine.
No,
you don't work.
I get
you're
it.
not a Oompa
It's okay to be
Loompa, though.
pensive.
No, I don't eat enough carrots.
We don't need to talk about where you're working, but
Or how many people are trapped in the chocolate tubes.
Yeah, please don't.
that was Augustus's own damn fault. I will have
That
you
was.
It was his fault. But now I can't remember. Did it happen in both versions of Willy? Or wait, now there's 3, aren't there?
know. Is there a third?
Aren't there 3 Willy Wonka
Oh,
movies?
the musical
Yeah.
one doesn't count because.
But this is a prequel, right?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
They're not retelling the Charlie Bucket story.
Right, which
This
is
is a
there's
young
only 2
Willy.
of those, and both
There
of
should
them
only be one.
pale in
Really?
comparison
they're
to
both.
the
I think they're both good though. I love the one with Gene Wilder, but also come on, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
I'm not going to agree with you.
Johnny Depp made a dumb acting choice to play the character the way he did. I mean, it's bold. He thinks outside the box. He tried to do something new. I give him credit for being innovative. I give him credit for trying, but it didn't work. It was dumb.
Well, the Bob was a bit much. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a Pee Wee Herman operated a factory.
The voice,
Yes.
the
A
voice
little
was
bit, yeah.
unnecessary. I think
Only
maybe
not funny.
The rest of it was acceptable. The voice.
It was.
It just
it
wasn't
was
a good.
the
It
voice.
wasn't a good decision. You know, I mean, basically, it's like he pooped on his own bed.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I think there's evidence for that too. Definitely. Craig, have you done anything of note within the last 3 months of summer up until the solstice here?
You know, I saw a lot of good live music this summer, so that's been, excuse me, that's been fun. Saw the Foo Fighters before they were canceled, so that was interesting.
They're canceled?
I don't know. Canceled might be the wrong word, but it seems like David Grohl is in a little bit of trouble with his clean-cut image and all that.
Oh, no.
What with the baby out of wedlock and whatnot. Which is just kind of like good old-fashioned.
Are there any heroes left, you guys, in 2024?
Is that what you want?
Where have all the heroes gone?
Isn't that what you want from your rock stars, though, to be a little bit like not too clean-cut and squeaky clean? I was going to see Jane's Addiction a couple weeks ago, but then Perry Farrell decided to throw a punch at Dave Navarro, the guitar player, a couple days before the concert.
Really?
So that whole tour got canceled. So, I mean, rock and roll is kind of alive and well. I went to go see Cage the Elephant at Breeze Stevens Field. I think that was one of my favorite concerts this summer. First of all, the music was excellent. I didn't realize how many other songs I knew. We went because my daughter was like, "Hey, I'd really like to go see this," and we were like, "You mean like with us?" So we took full advantage of that.
Of course.
And you know, scouted a pretty decent place up front, and so really got to kind of see the mannerisms of the lead singer, which is fascinating to me because a couple days prior to that, he had broken his leg. and decided to carry on with the tour anyway.
Was he wearing a cast?
He was
or
wearing
something?
a cast, and his knee was up in a scooter. So he was, and he's like a little Mick Jagger kind of. So he's always running all around the stage, but now he's like doing it on a scooter.
So he could be faster, probably.
So he was faster, but my favorite part of it was they went out for the encore, as a band will do, and coming back on stage, he completely ate it. He just completely fell face first really quickly, and it wasn't on the screen, so only people kind of up front really were able to catch that. But I mean, he played it off brilliantly. This is a very charismatic guy, a great show. So saw a lot of good live music this summer. So that was fun for me. And I met a new guy who's a carpenter, and we've been dating for like. I'm just gonna say, yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
I know.
Craig.
Can you believe that? He's
Wait, you
doing
too?
some work. No, that happened to you too. You're kidding me.
I'm actually in love.
Where are all these sexy carpenters coming from?
Well, he's more than a carpenter. He's
What are your
He's a construction
favorite
worker.
qualities about him?
What are my favorite qualities about him?
Yeah, all of them. List them.
You're putting me on the spot
In order,
so
and
much.
give value
In
to
order.
each
I can't
one.
do
I
it.
can see your eyes. You're thinking about them all the time. Don't
I do.
try
I
to
think
pretend
about
you
him.
don't have a
I
list.
do. I go to sleep thinking about him. I wake up thinking about him. It's true. I do. Yes. He's just. I have never met anyone like him. I can no longer sing along to the Sufjan song where the lyrics say, "I have never known a man to love me," because I know that he loves me.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
He's just one of the kindest, most thoughtful people that I have ever met.
When you have found someone that ruins one of your favorite songs, you know you found love.
Yeah.
That's right. Very true.
You can't listen to your Taylor Swift albums anymore now.
You
At
don't
least
cry
the
anymore.
post Travis Kelce albums.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty great. So the dating sites, I'm completely off. Done. Never again.
Hands are clean of them. It's
They
a
are
good feeling.
clean. Yes. Very. Actually, my hands are really clean. So yeah. It's great.
Are these dating sites? I've never been on. I haven't been on a date since long before there were cell phones.
So fortunate.
Do you have to pay by the month? Are there some like you get a year-long contract, so like you've still got like a subscription out there, and it's kind of like, well,
No, I mean, I think you guys know that I'm a penny pincher. So I only went on the ones that were free. So that was like Facebook dating. I think years and years ago, I did kind of pay for Bumble. Bad idea. Yeah.
Bumble to me is just a transformer. That is so far.
That's Bumblebee.
Oh, okay.
It would have been better if I would have had the Transformer Bumble. But no, I was just on like the free ones.
I hear Grindr's another good transformer.
Grindr.
Grindr's
I
kinda,
was
yeah.
not on Grindr.
Okay, no, you.
No, I'm not on
Oh,
Grindr.
yeah, right. No, now that I think about it, I don't
Different,
think any of
probably
us-
part of Voltron. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you
right.
read the fine print of those dating apps, they're not free. You have to pay with small peelings of your soul every time, but you're rejected, and a conversation goes nowhere.
Ooh, yes, very
Wow.
true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Nothing breaks you down like a person like a dating app.
Well, they are really silly. I mean, it's like
They're ridiculous.
They are. I mean, because it's like you don't know for one thing if the people are real or not, and then they do kind of entice you because it's like you can communicate a little bit. But then if you really want to communicate and see more pictures of the people that like you, then you do have to pay extra. So
I still feel like I would do better in the world of dating apps than I would. Like, God forbid I'm thrown out into the cold,
Yeah, are you
desolate
making
world of
plans,
dating
or-
here.
What?
But I feel like with the world of dating apps, like everything is possible. There's so many, it just creates so many more options than the happenstance that occurred before the third millennia.
What are you talking about? I see you just tearing it up on a roller rink. That would be your forte. Back in
You
the
want
day,
me to start?
you got
that
100
is-
people rolling around like you just bump into somebody else. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
You
How
roll
did,
here
how did
often?
Craig get arrested for pedophilia? Well, he thought she was 38.
Well, we don't know the age of people in the roller
Hangs
rink
out in
here.
the roller skating rink.
where
It
is
could
this
be-
roller rink?
Well, maybe you're younger. Maybe it's a
So
different
now
time in
I
your
would go
life.
back in time? Wow.
Well, I
I
it's
feel
hard
like I
finding
would
a roller
flourish.
rink now.
I don't feel that I would flourish, but I feel that I would be happy that there are options out there. Rather
wait
than
a
what,
second.
a singles bar? Where do you even meet people without an app?
Well, actually, it was just at home where I met,
Have them come over and give. That's a lot of estimates I would have to get from a lot of different construction companies.
Why not meet him at a grocery store?
Well, wait, why
That's
are you?
even-
so
that's
you're
even
meeting
ground.
him?
Well,
Or
I mean,
her? Or
I don't want to
Zen?
seem
It doesn't-
gender specific,
Yeah,
but
I
I
guess
feel
that's-
like my
yeah.
target demo would not exist well in the roofing industry, for example. No offense to anybody
Okay.
out there, but I just feel like the numbers would not be in my favor.
Yeah.
Don't you think though that like if you were thrown back, you wouldn't want to go back because how could you ever compare to the love of like
Yeah,
You're trying hard, and I appreciate it.
Sure.
It's true though. You found love at an early age.
But isn't that a song? I feel like, yeah, but
You found love at an early age.
I found love before the internet. Before, I mean, there was like 6 presidents since then. It's the world has changed quite a bit. Music was still on MTV. It was a different time.
Bitcoin didn't exist.
Didn't even exist.
Yeah.
I might have bought some
completely different.
Bitcoin there when it was a penny or two.
really?
Would have been a wise investment.
Would have been.
Looking at it now,
Yeah.
$65,000 a Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's super glad I didn't do anything when they were just a few pennies. Anywho, so that's exciting. Finding love in 2024.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Man, what are some of the experiences that you've had now in your new direction in life? Has there been a wonderful date to a theme park, or did you go get ice cream under the stars?
Stargazing.
With Jack Horkheimer.
Who's Jack Horkheimer?
That's
a whole
an
other
old
story.
poll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
He's
yeah,
the original Star Hustler.
Oh,
A Star Hustler?
Wait, that guy with the
Oh,
mustache?
yeah.
the
Sell a
members
star,
only
right?
jacket.
I remember
Yeah.
him. I
Keep
do remember
looking
him.
to the
Okay.
stars.
Yes, I
He's
remember.
from Randolph, Wisconsin.
Didn't he come on like after the 10 o'clock news?
He
At,
was
like,
on
10:30,
PBS, and it
10:31
was
or
like
something?
a 5-minute little thing that they would just kind of put on whenever a show ended early or something. I don't even know that it had a regular time, but I
do
think they
remember
still
that.
run some of them.
The
Why?
king of filler programming on PBS.
It doesn't change. The celestial bodies doesn't over long periods of time. You could just kind of recycle some of those
Every year.
Yeah, every year,
Yeah, I mean, it changes a little bit.
a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So you are avoiding the question.
Right. Why you have a thing for Jack Horkheimer? Is that
I
what you
do not
Charlie
have
is
a
not meeting
thing
up to
for Jack Horkheimer. I can't even say his name. Yeah, no, I just simple things like looking at the stars and
Give us
having
more
coffee.
details.
and
Oh,
looking
coffee
at the
dates?
looking at the stars.
What does he like to do to express his affection for you?
Oh my god!
Remember, this is a G-rated show.
Yes.
Expressing affection. There's a lot of different ways. Making coffees for somebody. Maybe making cinnamon rolls or something in the morning.
Was he
drinking my
big on
coffee.
Playing on a flute.
No, not playing on a flute. He just, it's hard to explain. I mean, you're putting me on the spot.
That's a pretty open question.
Have you gone to?
He listens. We talk a lot, so he's a good listener, and we just have really great conversations. I mean, I love talking.
Do quote we
So-
talk a lot, or is he a good listener? Because I
No,
feel like there is
both,
It's equal?
Both. We have good
right.
conversations, very good conversations.
Have you guys gone to a movie yet?
No, but a big but, and I've got one.
It's not entirely true.
He watches movies that I like.
That's
Okay,
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
that is a very important
Yes.
thing. So does he rewatch movies he's already seen?
We have done that because it's only fair to for watching some of my favorite movies to watch some of his favorite movies.
So you have shown
He's a
each other.
swapper. Okay.
Yes,
Not everyone's a fan
exactly.
of swapping movies like that.
Yeah. So he has watched movies that he's seen before so that I can watch them because, it's a movie he likes. So, and I
But
haven't
you
seen
hadn't
it.
seen it, and vice versa.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
Oh, I love that.
Well, give me
What
an
movies?
example of a movie that you hadn't seen that he loves that you saw and you either love or hate.
World War Z.
Oh, with Brad
Okay.
Pitt.
Yeah.
You're kind of predisposed to zombie movies already, though. I feel like I don't.
Maybe a little bit, but I mean, it's like it just kind of had like a good meaning. It was almost kind of like, a lot of the movie was stressful and scary. I mean, it was, but it's like
Billions of people across the world are taken over by this virus.
I know. And so what's important, what matters?
But we have been
In the
so
end,
conditioned
right?
to watch these TV zombie shows. When I watched World War Z, I literally got up to get a snack so that I could watch the next episode. And it was like, oh, that's the whole movie.
That's the movie, yeah.
It seems abruptly short. Not that I want a sequel, but a sequel. It's a good movie.
Well, and I don't really consider myself to be a big Brad Pitt fan, but he was okay in this.
Why are you part of the anti-Brad Pitt
I didn't
thing
say
that's
that
developing?
I was anti, but
I mean, you're
he
pro
was-
Johnny Depp.
Dispit.
Actually,
You're
I
a
have
Pitt disser?
switched.
Is that what
My
you're saying?
favorite.
A
That's
Pitt
something that
disser.
happened this summer. My favorite actor has switched. Johnny Depp is now in the shadows.
And so we can guess maybe who her
Wait,
favorite.
in the TV show In the Shadows?
Oh,
in Dark Shadows,
That's what
Johnny
we do
Depp
in the
from
shadows.
he's just kind of. I mean, he's kind of let himself go a little bit. Johnny Depp.
He got new teeth.
He did. His teeth are spectacular now.
Yeah, they're not dyed
But they're
with
not
wine.
his teeth, then, are they?
No.
Have you looked at his other teeth?
They're drilled into
I
his
did.
skull.
Wow. Okay. No, I haven't seen those pictures.
He has. It's been like a year that maybe he'll switch back.
Gorgeous smile.
So,
Let me guess. So it's Russell Crowe,
No.
the Penguin.
No.
No,
Wait,
wait, he's not the Penguin. That's
Colin Farrell.
Colin
Yeah,
Farrell.
I was
Is it
like,
Colin Farrell?
No.
Oh,
okay.
what a great show.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
Oh,
I haven't
it's
seen it
amazing.
either.
Okay.
Pilot's
Okay.
amazing.
All right, I'll have to check it out. So give us a hint. Give us a.
John Berthal.
No, you'll never
John
guess. You will
Berthel?
never ever guess. He was in the latest Batman movie that came out.
Robert Pattinson.
No.
Jeffrey Wright.
No.
He's in the latest.
Any more guesses?
John Turturro.
No, he played Alfred.
Molina.
Serkis. Right, Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis.
Because the other movie that came out since we last recorded, I was like so looking forward to this movie, even though Andy Serkis his character was dead in this movie. And if you came in a minute late, you totally missed him. In fact, maybe he wasn't even in it because it could have just been his costume, I guess.
You are spoiling this
Are you
movie.
talking about the Joker?
No, I'm not spoiling
what-
the movie.
what are we even
'Cause
talking
That movie's
about?
so old.
Okay, yeah.
Planet of the Apes.
Oh, the original or one
No,
of the
the
remakes?
new
where
one.
yes, from
I tried
10
to start
years ago.
rewatching that new one.
Didn't get you.
I mean, I was like 45, 50 minutes in, and it's just so boring. I just didn't care about anybody.
Your face is wow.
She was
Look at
so
that gasp.
offended by that. But there's just
You are shocked.
It just didn't do anything to want to draw me in. Which, coming from the world of Planet of the Apes, I mean, all of those movies are kind of a bit of a drag. You know,
Yeah, they're a little
you
dry.
really have to persevere through the original.
You mean the
Planet
ones
of
from the
Apes.
60s and the 70s?
In the 70s,
Oh,
right?
the Paul
All
Williams
five of
one?
them.
Yeah.
Well, the fifth one shouldn't.
Well, I haven't
even
seen them
count.
since
It's
I was a
garbage.
child. So
Well, you
can't
forget about the Mark
comment on that.
Wahlberg one.
There's a lot of
Oh,
filler.
the Mark Wahlberg one is terrible.
But it's paced better. I
Glad you
will say
agree.
it's paced a little better
I
than
have
the
to disagree.
reboot.
Have
I
you
to disagree.
wait? Did you rewatch the first one with John Lithgow and James Franco?
Yeah, it's so heartwarming.
You didn't like
I just
that
didn't
the
care
first 40
for
minutes?
I mean, James Franco's relationship with Lithgow, I found boring, and it just didn't seem like there was any.
Well, his
pizzazz
dad is
there.
afflicted with Alzheimer's. He
We
struggled
need a
to form a
stethoscope
connection
because
with him.
I need to see if your heart is beating or if
Maybe part of it is that maybe I just can't watch movies anymore. Maybe
Maybe
I've
you
been so
can't.
desensitized
Could
by
be.
short little clips that there are not a lot of movies that I've watched this year. I wouldn't say.
Isn't that most of movie watching now is like YouTube? Oh yeah, what was that one scene from Under Siege? Or what about The Father's Bride?
But then again, I just started watching whatever that rom-com is with what's her name and who's his face.
wow, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Where they have the
It's
podcast
hilarious.
about the sex podcast with the girl from Good
Sex
Place.
podcast.
Just hit Netflix. Kristen Stewart is in a new rom-com,
I have
which is
no
very
idea.
good. And I'm already like
I
5
can tell,
episodes
yeah.
in, so that's like the equivalent of 2.5 hours. So that's more than a movie.
It's a
That
show
is
about a
more than a
sexing
movie.
podcast.
It's a rom-com, and she plays she is a podcaster who has a podcast about sex.
Okay,
And she
yeah.
is dating not to give too much away, a very devout rabbi that she meets, which sounds, and the joke is already in the show,
Yeah,
sounds
that's
like the
funny.
setup for a joke. Kristen Stewart and a rabbi, walk into a rom-com. But it's excellent. It's well written. There's great chemistry between the actors. And really, at the end of the day, that's all you really need to be able to pull off.
True.
I mean, other than brown chicken, brown cow.
Well, you don't need that for a show.
Yeah. But you need to.
You
pull
need
it off.
personality.
And that's what's in the podcast. That's
Okay.
So there is something I've watched, but even at that, I feel like I'm just watching like series Hacks, which is another good another good show on HBO. Very funny. What's the last funny sitcom that's been on like regular TV? They're all on streaming services now.
Seinfeld?
I just watched the Roseanne reboot. Did I say Roseanne? I'm sorry.
You
She
did
was
say
killed off
Roseanne.
almost immediately. The Connors. I caught one of those episodes, and I'm really glad they're doing it. You know, there's a few chuckles in there. I could have.
They're giving it effort.
I could have been married to the Becky. You know.
What?
You knew her before?
Well, I've told this story before.
I've
told you guys.
That's
I
right.
went to go
It
see
didn't out
Frank
well.
Black of the Pixies at the Vic Theater in Chicago, Illinois in 1992. And I was apparently standing next to her, and she asked me for a light for her cigarette, since I was smoking cigarettes at the time as well. And this was also a time that you could smoke cigarettes in indoor venues in the city of Chicago.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
And 18-year-old me was just an idiot and gave her the lighter. But like, you know, now I look back and I'm like, she was with two other guys that were smoking that were clearly just like friends or bodyguards or something. Like clearly she gave me the in.
Yeah, but
I could be married to Becky from
I know.
Roseanne.
You wouldn't be sitting here now on Thomas's comfortable sofa or soufan or whatever you called it.
You don't have to flatter the sofa.
It's I call it Steven, my souftan.
My futon.
I mean, you know, everything happens for a reason, right?
Sure.
You found love, and it wasn't even a sexy carpenter.
It was not. I did not want to misrepresent my that I did not meet a sexy carpenter. That was LA.
Sorry.
If you guys, there was not a weird coincidental meeting.
That would have been great.
I hate to reveal.
What a way
the
to open up
secrets of
the Great
podcast.
Beaver Fiasco after 3 months.
Has it been 3 months?
Two of our
It-
members
well,
finding sexy
I
carpenters.
feel like it's been 4 months.
It's been
even.
4 months.
Has it
Yeah,
really been? It's been
a while.
June, right? Oh
Wait,
my
wait,
God!
well, June?
Wow.
we
Like
did,
maybe
you
even
did, we
April.
did post one more recently, but we haven't like sat down really, the three of us, right?
We didn't do it all summer, and then now it's fall.
Yeah, that's true. I guess what is I've been trying to think about is there a lesson to be learned from us not doing any podcast, not posting anything, not talking about this podcast for the last 4 months?
I had more free time. I noticed that.
That was a perk. Yeah.
Well, I missed you too, so that's not a perk.
But you found
Yeah.
love.
You found love.
I did, yeah. I think I found it though. Like, I mean, actually, the timing of that, it was kind of like I think we had one podcast after, first date.
But you
Did
didn't
we?
really know at that time.
No, I didn't. know.
Now it's official at this
Alright.
point now.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of had an idea. I mean, it actually is very like it's pretty amazing and kind of magical actually, because the first time I did see this person, I actually did like notice him, and I was in my mind, of course, I was like, wow, I kind of like this guy.
You put it on your vision board, on your internal vision board, and the
I
next
actually
thing you
do
know, the
have
vision
a
board.
vision board that I created like in January, and yeah, so maybe I
You
don't
have
know.
a physical vision board that
I
came
do.
true?
I do have a vision board.
Wow,
yes.
that's great. That's an accomplishment. That's huge.
It is
How
actually.
does that
manifested.
work? That's you write something, or you drawing?
No.
what you're looking for?
Like it was a collage. Actually, so Lily, my middle daughter, is big into this, and she gets everything she wants. She really does. And so she's like, let's do this. Just myself with all of my daughters. My oldest and my youngest did not create their vision board, though. I did create mine.
I think 50% buy-in. That's pretty good.
So,
that means all the manifesting went to you two.
I guess so. Yeah,
It's a lot of positive energy.
it is. So
Your
I made
oldest
it
daughter
happen.
could have manifested $1 million for herself if she just would have participated, but now she's missed out.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess she has her own way of manifesting. So,
Well, that's good.
yeah,
that's true.
She does.
Are we going to do this again? Or are we going to do it every 3 months? What
I
do you
have
think?
hope
no
it's not every
idea
3 months.
what we're planning on doing with this podcast. I don't know if we're planning on having guests into my small apartment. Hey, by the way, I just want to point out something. So, LA, you gave me a box of tortellini.
Is this something that can wait till after the podcast?
No, not at all.
Are you going to ask me if it's still good? It's not.
Well, so that's the thing. It was chicken tortellini. I didn't realize that. I was planning on making it for dinner tonight, Craig.
Throw it away.
I found, wait a second, this is chicken tortellini.
Yeah.
You gave me questionable chicken tortellini. Like, it was clearly in like 80%. You should eat this in a day or two. You didn't even tell me that. I didn't even know it was going bad.
How long did you get it?
Well, there was another person involved in this exchange.
It's a 3-person tortellini?
There was. And they had to relay the message that it was questionable.
Did you eat it?
Was it supposed to be
It's still in
refrigerated?
the fridge.
Throw it away.
What?
It's still...
You gave me like
Okay.
5 days ago. Like, I planned my meals
We
out
thought
like,
it was
sequentially.
cheese tortellini.
And that's why you gave me chicken tortellini.
And so my youngest daughter said, gee, this is really hard. I don't like it. There's something wrong with it. And then...
Well, let's give it to Thomas.
Let's give it to me.
So then I read the label. I'm like, oh, it's chicken, not cheese.
She's not vegan, I hope.
No,
or
she's
vegetarian.
not. She's not. But then I asked someone else in my family, do you think Thomas would like this? And they said yes. But that was like last week. You were supposed to eat it like the day or the next
Those
day.
instructions were never conveyed.
Was it already open?
You should
gave
probably
him the open
eat
tortellini?
this. It was not open.
Or was it like a sister
No,
companion?
it was open.
It was open?
You got open
Hey,
tortellini?
we leave it
I didn't even know it was open.
There's no food poisoning potential here whatsoever because we have open tortellini in my refrigerator right now.
You're not going to eat that, though.
No, I will eat it. Probably tomorrow.
Is it the same tortellini batch?
No, it's cheese, not chicken.
Okay, so
Well,
why
it's
is
different.
his expired? Did you have an
Because
expiration
we
date on
opened
yours?
it
It was the rejected
we
tortellini.
opened it last week, so throw it away.
Oh, my gosh.
Are you hungry? Want to come over tonight for
No,
dinner?
I have other...
I have some cheese tortellini.
No, so I don't want any of your tortellini. Well, I kind of made the mistake. So I made some dinner last night. It was for breakfast, and I had eggs in there, and it was like eggs and potatoes and couscous. It was all mixed together. I know
For
it sounds awful.
breakfast?
Well, yeah, but I left it on my stove overnight. And then I woke up in the morning like, oh my gosh, well, I'm not going to throw this away. So I just added more water to it, and I let it boil for like 30 minutes, and I had it for breakfast this morning. It's got curry powder in it. It was boiling for an extra 30 minutes. Yeah, I had egg in there, but it was cooked egg.
The chicken tortellini egg?
No.
You better move
This
those
was a
boxes away
separate
from your
thing.
bathroom door because you're going to be running there pretty soon.
I've been fined for most of the day.
There's no box.
There's no boxes there. I don't know what you're pointing at.
Wow, the great
That's
tortellini
totally
Creative
fine.
license.
Yeah. But I was shocked to find out that was, and I didn't even know it was open. I can't believe you.
I'm sorry.
So
Thomas,
anybody?
I love you. I only want good health for you.
Well, that's
why I
clearly
thought you
not true,
would
but
like
thanks
it.
for pretending.
Big plans this weekend or anything coming up on the horizon? LA,
Yeah.
you have to go first because Thomas went first last time.
Well, my youngest daughter turns 22 this week.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Well, congratulations to you for successfully raising her to a legal age where she could be forced out of the house and you would not be held accountable. Just saying.
For the 4th year in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh, isn't it 21? Yeah, I guess it is 18.
yeah, it's 18.
Where we're nice over at our house. We'll keep them till they're in their 20s.
Oh, yeah.
We don't mind.
That's
as long,
nice.
long as possible. But yeah, and then I'm going to the Lando Lakes this weekend. So
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love
In
that
Michigan.
butter.
Yeah.
no, it's not Michigan.
Well, it's right on the border,
Minnesota?
isn't
It's
it?
no, it's like Wapaka, Waiwiga,
Lando Lakes?
Lando Lakes. Yeah.
Lando Lakes is like right on the border in upper
Well,
Wisconsin,
there must
UP.
be many Lando Lakes. I mean, there were a lot of Irish in this area, so
And there are a lot of lakes.
yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That should
Craig?
be fun.
I am continuing my my year of good live music. I have got one of the most uniquely interesting to me bands that I'm going to see this weekend. I'm going to Chicago, and I'm going to see a band called Sugar Pit. Sugar Pit is a one-man band. The kid played, he does the vocals, he writes the songs, he does all the instrumentation. Big fans over at the Warmbold House. Because we've known this kid since he was born, since before he was born. We were friends with his mom in college,
Wow.
and now he's gone and he's developed this, quite this following of fans in that demographic. He's had a few viral songs. I don't know that I would say hit songs that have charted, but they've all like developed quite a virus on TikTok in terms of getting out there. He's signed to Atlantic Records.
Whoa.
And is on his first
What a
big tour.
compliment.
Atlantic Records, Led Zeppelin. I mean, the list goes on of who's been on Atlantic Records. He's opening for a band called Fiddlar, which I'd never heard of. But when we heard this news, we were in Austin, Texas with our oldest daughter, who was best friends with Kian growing up. Kian is with Sugar Pit. And we were just like, oh my God, that's so awesome. He's going to be on tour. He's coming to Austin. So she's going to get to see him in a few weeks when he comes down there. It's his first major tour. Opening for Fiddlar. And meanwhile, one of Mar's friends was there. You know, they're in this 20-something group. And he's this quirky guy anyway. But all he heard was Fiddlar. And he said, Fiddlar? And he just freaked out. Apparently Fiddlar's this guy's like favorite band in the whole world. He couldn't believe. He's like, you know, people who are opening for Fiddlar. His mind was absolutely blown for the rest of the day, just out of the blue. Really, for the rest of the time that we were there, we'd be sitting, we'd be talking about, so hey, how about the weather is nice. Fiddlar, I can't believe you're Fiddlar.
Wow,
you're kidding me. So we're going to see Fiddlar, which is like punk rock, I guess. You know, what are they in, like fifth wave of punk rock now, whatever that ska punk genre is, with Sugar Pit opening. And so we will be the only 50-year-olds standing among a crowd full of teens and 20-somethings at this all ages show. I'm thinking about getting like a T-shirt printed of like a picture of him from when he was like 2 or 3. And
that's a neat idea.
I'm not gonna do that.
Do you have one?
I've got tons of pictures. There are pictures of him on my wall still with my daughter. Yeah, I mean So we could not be prouder of this kid. Signing to a big label. Check him out. It's called Sugar Pit. If you like, kind of like a Jack White Stripes kind of punk rock kind of real organic homemade kind of feel to your music. I've enjoyed everything he's done so far. I highly encourage you to check them out, or check out Fiddlar, because Mitchell down in Austin loves Fiddlar.
I'm going to have to take Mitchell's advice on that. I've never heard of him.
Me neither. $15. I'm going to get to learn all about him on Saturday.
All about Fiddlar. I don't have anything that exciting going on in the next week. I think I'm helping my mother clear some brush from an old farm.
Okay.
She's been the one fronting the project. My dad has barely done anything. He shows up and then just kind of like points at things and leaves. Or he helps her.
Leaves, get it?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
Or he helps her when she gets the trailer stuck or the engine dies and then restarts it for her. So might do some of that.
Really nice.
And then in a couple weeks, I think I'm going up to La Crosse to meet up with my good friend Carl from Hibbing, Minnesota. And we're going to go on the old stomping ground. Speaking of La Crosse, have you seen some of the developments with former Chancellor of La Crosse, UWL?
I have not. Joe?
Joe Gow.
Chancellor Joe?
Have you seen it? They're juicy updates so far. So he was, Joe Gow.
Little background here for those not familiar.
Background. So Joe Gow was the former chancellor for a really long time, up until a couple years ago.
He was your chancellor?
I was, back when I graduated in 2015, I was the very first communication presentation to present to Joe Gow.
Oh, wow.
He was the very first one I presented to. It was amazing. I was like, Joe Gow, let me show you about all the propaganda techniques that Rush Limbaugh is using.
And he was my daughter's chancellor before she graduated from UW.
He's a great guy. He's charismatic.
Seems like a very nice guy.
Well, he's also, along with his wife, they do a number of, pornos. Right? I mean, to put it bluntly, but they also do... It
seems more like erotic films might fall
erotic
more
films.
appropriate.
Yeah, it's more artistic. Yeah, it's not like a dirty 70s porno.
I thought they were culinary videos.
Right.
Well,
and
that's one part of what he does, yeah. Sexy, healthy cooking?
Right. So, it's like that's not even food porn. That's just, that's just kind of erotic food making.
They bring on adult film stars, LA, and then they talk about vegan cooking recipes and then about their careers and maybe some other, things that happen.
Wait, did you say vegan?
It is vegan, yeah.
Yeah, they cook with a lot of pineapple. There's definitely a lot of pineapple in all of the dishes.
Pineapple.
But, he caught a little trouble. He was chancellor at the time and had to resign his job. I think he sued and won, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe he just sued because for wrongful termination.
He did sue. And since this time now, I think he was on tenure and his tenure has been canceled. So now he has started a lawsuit against the regents, basically fighting against his unlawful, what he deems, termination.
I don't think people should be terminated for making erotic movies. I think, that's, we're in 2024. They shouldn't do that. But at the same time, if you've got a contract and you've got like certain community standards as part of that contract, you're kind of in violation of a contract. So I see both sides of that whole scenario.
I guess if you agree to a contract that limits your freedom of expression and First Amendment rights.
Well, is that what it was about?
That happens every day. You've been under those contracts. I know
I've
you've been
experienced
under
those contracts. Yeah.
I mean, what were
They have a real
the
impact.
health standards as far as the food
Health standards?
Health, as far as the food safety.
Their kitchen was incredibly clean.
Was it?
But
Okay.
they're not selling the food. Like, they're all eating it internally. Like,
Hey,
it's not like
no
an
pun
audience.
intended.
Like, here you go.
Okay.
The FDA is not involved in this as far as
Not
we
at
know.
all. No, it's not FDA certified.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think the health department. Maybe they did chime in on this one. I couldn't imagine being rated by the health department on a erotic food show.
Erotic cooking, yeah. But
So what's the latest development?
he has sued the Board of Regents,
and
and
okay.
so that's where it's going now.
Okay, I gotcha.
So he's.
So when did this happen, though? Like, what
was
year did all of
early
this
this
start
year.
unfolding?
Pre-pandemic,
Okay.
wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I think it was kind of bubbling up to that point, but it really reached a head this year. So yeah, I think people were questioning because he had
Stop
hired.
using all these double entendres.
I'm not trying to, but he had paid like $5,000 to like a former adult like film star to give a presentation at the school, and some of the other community members or faculty members thought, well, that's peculiar.
He did that after getting busted?
No, that was before, leading up to all this.
What
I
was
think.
the presentation about, though?
That's another careless mistake.
Following your dreams,
Following your dreams, okay.
pursuing a career despite what others say.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
I hope he's
don't
up there.
know. I'm kind of, I don't know. I don't see him prevailing.
I'm fully supportive of Joe Gow.
Okay.
I can't wait to see him up, and maybe who knows? I'll volunteer myself to be a participant in his show, even though I despise vegan cooking. I don't want to be anywhere in a vegan only kitchen. That sounds awful.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It would be difficult for me to find anything that I would enjoy.
So you guys are both cool with the sex, but you don't want to eat any of the food, is
No
what
one
you're
said
saying.
anything about that, but he's a nice guy overall.
Is he? Okay.
And I've just met his face that he puts on for students, so
Yeah.
I'm sure there's nothing he's hiding.
Is he Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs?
Oh
The
my
face he puts on for his
gosh.
students.
Well, you've been there before, right? Like the face you put on for a career or a role, it's different than the face you put on for your family members or
And
your little
oftentimes,
cousins.
again, there's a contract involved in that, and it's a fairly obvious contract. I just don't understand how somebody in his line of work that signs a contract like that, why they would even necessarily want to push the boundaries. Like, it just seems like, well, if you want to push the boundaries, maybe don't be involved with education of children and being the figurehead for a major state university. Just to play devil's advocate.
Well, when you hear the siren song of your hidden passion rising to the surface, what are you to do? What are you to do, Craig?
He didn't even wear like a face mask or anything.
Oh no, they were
So it was
full
obvious
frontal.
that it was him. See, I guess that's the thing. I mean, it's like decide really. I get what you're saying. It's like, I mean, did he do well with his videos? Like, were they popular? Was he making money with that?
They might have been monetized, but I don't think. Well, it's probably different now. He's probably had a lot more subscribers since this has been in the
True.
news. But probably before it was maybe 10
I mean, it's
or
kind of
something.
one thing to have an interest that remains in your private life in a role like that, when you have that sort of like a high profile position in a university.
I almost think, I'm just going to push back a little bit. I think it's weirder if in 2024, because there's no privacy anymore, if you have like a passion of erotic film like that and it's not public, that's almost creepier.
I'm going to have to think
Right
about
at this
that.
point?
Yeah, I could see your point on that. But to the overall point, and you guys should be able to identify with this, when you choose to become a public figure, and you can choose to become a public figure in a lot of ways. You could run for elected office. You could take a job that is in the public spotlight. The Supreme Court has yet to determine if just random podcasters are public figures, but I can't imagine that they won't. And the reason I say that is because public figures, in the eyes of the law, are dealt with completely differently than private figures. If somebody were to slander you and you weren't a podcaster and nobody in public had ever heard your name, Thomas or LA, if they were to say something negative about you that wasn't true and it harmed your reputation as a private citizen, you would be able to sue them and you would pretty much be guaranteed to win. There would almost be no question. If you had the facts on your side, it's an open and shut case. They're going to be responsible for the damages. If you're a public figure, the chances of being able to recoup in a situation like that are almost they're the opposite. It's almost impossible because you're a public figure. You're treated differently. He is a public figure, so he already knows the dangers that come along with being a public figure. He's already kind of signed off on that opportunity to say, and I don't want to say, oh, I'm just like everybody else, but I mean, you're legally separating yourself from the pack when you do that, not to mention the contract that you sign.
Oh, yeah.
Which has standards in it.
I see that point. Yeah.
So
that's difficult.
So would you rather have society evolve to such a point where everybody and their mother is making erotic cooking videos and it's perfectly socially acceptable?
I think if more, Craig, I'm going to be totally honest. Ellie, I'm going to be honest with you. If more citizens were doing erotic cooking shows, I think the world would be a happier place. It'd be a safer place. I think it'd be a more open place. Honestly,
I can't disagree with that. Maybe you're right.
Enough with the wars. Let's have more naked cooking going on.
I don't know that I want to see my neighbors naked over the oven, though, over the stove. I don't know how much of that I really need to take in. But yes, I agree with you. In sentiment, maybe we have too many barriers, too many boundaries up in society that is keeping us away from being closer to who we are as humans.
And I understand, to your point, LA, about the hygiene of being nude while cooking. I mean, that's important, certainly. And that is a perfect way to end this almost reclaimed episode of the Great Beaver Fiasco.
Almost reclaimed, yeah.
Is that how we're doing it? That seems pretty anticlimactic now at this point.
Well, what if we just drift off for another month and then suddenly pop back on
I just wanted to say, Craig, you have something in your teeth.
Thank you.
I have some dental floss if you'd like some.
We would like to encourage all of the chancellors of the world out there to begin their own erotic cooking shows post haste.
I think that's going to do it, you guys. Is there any final words of wisdom or any thoughts we've had in the last day? Are you excited to be back doing this again, or are you dreading it at this point?
I am excited. I am. I'm very tired today, but I'm excited.
I think I think we should. I've got some ideas about how we should go forward. I look forward to conversating with the team here about what things might look like as we advance. I think we have got some potential for some amazing schnarf to really develop here.
Schnarf.
I'm not really sure what that word means. But
I think going forward, we're only going to be audioizing rather than video. And if you have any thoughts about that, you can always leave us a comment on our Facebook page, or I guess, is this even going up on YouTube or no?
I think it should, sure.
Okay, yeah, we'll do the same thing. Hi, we're still out there,
podcast,
but we're not doing a video.
I would agree. I would throw an asterisk in there, though.
And we're going to respond a lot better than we have been.
What's the asterisk?
I'm crossing my fingers on that.
I think we should do this just like we're doing every week that we can, maybe every 2 weeks.
In my apartment.
Yeah, I would love that. Well, I do have to say, because I know when I listen to podcasts, I listen to them in the car, so I shouldn't be watching them.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could watch them too, but what I think we should do is maybe consider, like, every month or two, maybe like every 2 months, having a special guest, and maybe meet them where the guest is and have that on video.
Maybe we should serve a meal for them.
Oh,
yeah,
chicken tortellini
while wearing clothes, of course. But it could be a talk and eat podcast, maybe. But there would be a lot of and those weird sounds.
Well, I think we should just get crazy. Every once in a while.
I really like that idea.
I think I'm getting a hive with all these possibilities.
Hey, have I shown you my really cool thing before
we
hang
up?
We're
on audio. You can't show me anything. Don't walk toward the kitchen.
And we can
Why are you taking your pants off?
He's jogging right now. He went behind a screen.
I was totally going to do this, you guys, and I didn't do it.
What is that? Is
that illegal?
I'm afraid.
Stick your hands in that paper bag.
Why?
It's huge.
Is that a mushroom?
So this is like a grocery bag.
Is that velvet?
A grocery bag.
Okay.
Plump full. Actually, where it is.
Aha.
Read this, Craig.
I'll put my hand in there. I'm not afraid.
Laird, a hot-headed. More of the double entendres with you. When are you going to stop? Laird is who is Laird anyway? Laird is a hot-headed Murret ram who is known as himself. First half, 2.4 pounds at $22 a pound. Are you telling me you've got $52.80 worth of ram hair in that bag?
I am telling you, I have about 2.5 pounds of ram fleece in this paper bag. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm very... So stick your hand in there. It's all wool.
That is insane.
L.A. Feel
insane
the wool.
and weird. Are you going to knit a hat or something for yourself? I am so confused.
I've been told by some friends that you have to cart the wool. So you have to separate it, and then you have to spin it and do other things with it.
How much time do you have in your week to be able to cart ram hair?
I have no idea, but it looked fun.
Okay.
And it was a good time when I went there, and they had a whole bunch of fleeces and things. And I was like, well, I have to get one. So and now it's sitting in my apartment breathing, apparently, because this wool has to breathe. Otherwise, it gets wet and condensates, and then it's not good for the quality.
Shouldn't you take it out of the bag and spread it out all over the floor?
Yeah, maybe. My hand feels a little funny after putting it in there.
It does itch a little bit. It's a little dusty.
No, it shouldn't be that bad. It's a little greasy. I'm not gonna
So,
lie.
I mean, really, what are your intentions with the ram hair?
With this?
Is that what it's called, ram hair?
I guess fur, right? Or fleece?
Murret ram?
It's so weird.
Ram
I can't
fleece?
Stop touching it.
It seems like a really bad truck. The ram fleece.
Ram fleece.
Can't even get up a hill.
Yeah, it's a discount.
I'm glad
ram.
you're doing this, though. Like
I need
it's a
winter
new
hobby.
thing.
But
Yeah.
what is he doing?
Well,
all he's doing is keeping hair in a bag right now.
Well, I mean, no, but it's the possibilities of tomorrow.
That's right. Actually, I want to learn how to knit again. I used to know how. No, I used to know how to knit, and I have like a little green rectangle at home that's like 10 years old, and I need to finish.
It's never been finished.
You go down to Nancy's Notions and get yourself, some pre-made yarn. Save yourself 1,000 hours. But this is a little house on the prairie, man.
Yeah, I could do that, but maybe this is just something that I want to pursue for my life. I don't know yet. I haven't done it completely.
Perhaps we can have an update.
I will
with
let you know where I am on
podcast,
this.
and you will free the ram's hair.
I admire you in your efforts to do something new, something imaginative, something that isn't done very often.
So it's just the same old all the time.
Sometimes you just want to bundle up in something warm and cozy, and cook eggs and film a YouTube show.
And eat chicken tortellini.
I'm going to throw it away.
Please do.
Just like I'm going to throw away all my other pastas you give me. I'm not even going to give him a chance. Don't even bother giving me pastas. I'm just going to toss them around the garbage.
Okay.
And
I won't.
That will do it for this episode of the Great. Wait, are we doing this?
Are we going to do it?
Are we synchronizing?
It's season 2. Maybe we should just leave this in season 1. Or we can do it here on
the Great.
Yeah, my heart wasn't in it.
No, that wasn't. I didn't feel it either. That's it. We're done.
Just end
Great
it.
Beaver Fiasco.
This is
the end right now.
Beaver Dam, Wisconsin's got peonies and parades. Beaverton, Oregon's where shoes are made.
Sorta.
Beaver Dam, everywhere the people all say, have a gosh dang beaver darn great damn day.